Hey, good evening. It's Friday, November 22nd, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. You know, what I want to talk about tonight connects to something in my history that happened 61 years ago. I was 17 years old in high school, and around lunchtime, I heard this rumor, people talking, that the president had been shot. But we couldn't confirm it. We did. This was before we had phones and constant internet and all that sort of stuff. So I was headed out to football practice, and I asked the coach. I said, "Coach, is the president been shot?" And he said, "Yes, son, he has." And everything, the country went on hold for about 4 days, just trying to take in what had happened. But then we survived. There was a transition of power to President John Kennedy, who had been assassinated, to Lyndon Johnson, his vice president, and we went forward. But it was an early lesson to me of the power of God and that He's the one who actually controls things. So that's why the title of the video tonight is Be Thankful. God rules politics. And that may seem like, whoa, look at our political mess. And God is ruling over this? Yes, He is. But rather than that being a cause of despair for us, we need to realize God is running these things so to show us our need of Him, to show us our dependence on Him. And the more we believe from our political life and our view of a country and our educational perspectives that God is not necessary or not a part of these things, the more estranged we as a country become from God. And we lose sight of a very basic reality. God rules politics. There's a really cool story in Daniel chapter 2 when, as you know, Daniel and folks from Judah have been captured and taken to Babylon and to serve the in the service of King Nebuchadnezzar. So Nebuchadnezzar, in the second year of his reign, he has a dream. And of course, all of the political people, the priests, everyone, the magicians, king, tell us the dream. And we'll tell you what it means. But Nebuchadnezzar was a smart dude. He said, no, you tell me the dream. And then you interpret it. Well, these people panicked. Said, no, king, no, nobody can do this. Tell us the dream. And Nebuchadnezzar basically calls her bluff. And look, if you guys are who you say you are, you could tell me, not only interpret the dream, you could tell me the dream. And if you can't tell me what my dream was, I'm not interested in you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have you chopped to pieces if you can't tell me. Well, news gets to Daniel, the Lord's servant. And Daniel reaches out to God, asks God for help, and he comes to Nebuchadnezzar and says, King, the Lord that I serve has revealed to me your dream in a vision and interpretation of it. And then Daniel goes on to give him the dream. But what I want to focus on here is that Daniel gives all the credit to God. He not only interprets the dream, he tells Nebuchadnezzar what the dream was, but then he introduces it this way. Daniel praised the God of heaven and said, Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons. He sets up kings and deposes them. God rules over politics. This whole political process, Colossians 1 talks about this too, but this whole political process, God is sovereign over it. is to point us the fact that we need God. Rather than wring our hands and say everything is a disaster, which on the human level it may be, what God is telling us is to acknowledge that He is King, that He rules over all of these things, and we need to take our requests directly to Him. That's why Paul, with a calm heart, is able to pray for the leaders of the Roman Empire, the very people who are trying to kill him. So you see, God is in control of these things. So God changes times and seasons. He sets up kings and deposes them. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep things and hidden things. He knows what lies in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king. You see, Daniel is looking to God because he knew that God rules even the mess of politics. Because there was a political storm brewing right there in Babylon. Because the king's advisors, who in effect the politicians of his time, the king said, he called their bluff. They're panicked. God sends Daniel and resolves the issue. Brothers and sisters, the same is true today. Just as when President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, God was in control. Right now, we are in a time of political turmoil and upheaval. It's the same God. Things are in control. He is bringing things about so that people will recognize that He is God. Probably not the way you and I would have chosen to do it, but that's the cool part. That's why we can be thankful, because He's God and we're not. Let's not despair. Let's have hope. Be thankful. God rules politics. As always, I love your thoughts, your feedback. Thank you so much for being here, and Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.